School is broken, and it's only getting worse. Education has basically been the same for the past 100 years. Traditional schooling was originally used during the Industrial Revolution to create factory workers. And in today's society, we now have data to prove its negative effects on students. I'm Mackenzie Price, co-founder of a new school model that's revolutionizing education. And I made it my mission to share the message that school doesn't have to be a waste of time. These are the 5 main ways that traditional schools negatively impact students. The last one is the most devastating, and it's rarely talked about. Think about your school experience, and now think about a subject that you loved. Why did you love it? It's because you were good at it. Now think of a subject that you dreaded and hated. Chances are you were confused and behind and didn't understand that subject. That's exactly the problem in most of today's schools. Look at these actual results of a class of 6th graders. See how wide the range is? Their math ability ranges all the way from kindergarten to sophomore level, all in one class. If you were the teacher, what textbook would you use to teach this class? Today's schools have a one-size-fits-all approach, and it doesn't work. But this problem can be solved with a personalized AI tutor so that every student gets exactly the level and pace of information that works for them. We'll dive into that more in another video. Have you ever walked into a test, reading your notes, cramming, trying to get as much information into your head just so that you can quickly write it down on the test as soon as it's given to you? Facts, figures, history, dates, math formulas, scientific equations, all crammed in the night before and memorized. The key here is memorize, not learned. Traditional schools are overly focused on testing, particularly standardized testing, and it's not even their fault. Their funding, school rating, and overall health is tied to their performance on these mandated tests. These tests encourage students to memorize information through repetition. I say this as a big fan of testing. It's the best way to measure a student's progress, but not the way these standardized tests are being currently used. In the high-pressure environments of school today, students often develop a fear of failure. They learn that getting the answer wrong is bad, rather than learning how to grow from it. This deters students from taking intellectual risks and exploring what could be an innovative solution, boxing students in rather than giving them tools to be free thinkers and creative problem solvers. While we do need to measure what students know, we can do it in a way that doesn't stunt their actual learning. And in today's education system, there's simply no time for creative learning because our students are furiously memorizing for the next standardized test. To put it in simple terms, today's traditional education is memorization over application. Now, let's say your school does a great job of teaching algebra, English, science, and you graduate with amazing test scores and are off to a top college or to pursue your dreams in the world. Chances are high that you have very little of the actual skills needed to succeed in the real world. Why? Because traditional school doesn't teach life skills. How many actual jobs require you to know how to solve inequalities in chemistry? Is it going to help you much to know that the Mongolian army left Russia in 1480? Doubtful. Now, I'm not advocating we abandon chemistry or history, far from it. But rather than having students spend 99% of their time on information they most likely won't need again, why not also teach them life skills that they will use every day in their careers, like basic financial literacy, public speaking, how to give and receive feedback, and how to persevere in tough times. How about how to work with others, including difficult people? That's a skill we could all use. Typically now, students go into the workforce clueless about these invaluable skills, and it shouldn't be this way. According to a survey conducted by the American Psychological Association, nearly 1 in 3 teens from the ages of 13 through 18 will experience an anxiety disorder. That's 1/3 of all students. Most of us know about this crisis in our young people, and there are many reasons for it. But what are schools doing about it? I'm not suggesting that school needs to solve problems it didn't create, but we can't ignore the mental health of our students, especially when students spend 8 hours at school every day. Students can't learn when they're stressed out, anxious, depressed, and generally unhappy. Today's education system needs to be more focused on the entire person, with an emphasis on mental health, and strategies around learning need to focus on keeping our students mentally healthy. And finally, the last but most important point I want to make: school is so boring. Kids don't like being in school. But is it because they don't like learning? I don't think so. In fact, when kids start out in school, they're curious and excited and they want to do learning. But guess what? Every year, enthusiasm for school goes down until their junior year, when they finally start to see a light at the end of the tunnel. But why is it that school is so boring, and why are kids not excited to learn? Well, we've talked about some of these issues, but it comes down to fundamentally the way the classroom model is structured. Again, a teacher teaching to a class all at the same pace leads to boredom. A lot of kids don't understand what they're learning. A lot of kids are already advanced and they don't care to be sitting there. So disengagement is a natural part of this. Add to that the fact that subject matters aren't really relevant to them. They don't get much choice in what they study or how they pursue things, and they don't get to see the connection between what they're learning and what they're interested in doing. It's so critical that kids have an opportunity to explore their passions and their talents, and today's school doesn't do that at all. So I know that this video has focused on the problems with traditional school, and it's kind of a downer, but guess what? There is a solution, and it's already being implemented at the schools that I founded. Check out my next video for more information on how we can create the schools of the future.